This is unusual because I don't know how to start it. So this is not an episode of Smoke and Steel. This is instead a cigar review between me and Mark. So welcome to the Stogie Review video cigar review with me and Mark.
Hello.
Easy enough to do, right?
Right.
All right. So today we're going to be smoking the My Father Blue Label, or it's not really called the Blue Label, is it? It's just the My Father Blue, not to be confused with the Don Pepin Garcia Blue. It is the new-ish, came out a couple months ago, cigar from the My Father Honduras factory. So it's pretty interesting. I'm just reading some general notes here from various retailers that kind of give you some background information on the cigar. So it says that the My Father Blue was blended by legendary father and son cigar makers Pepin and Jaime Garcia in a collection of classic sizes. My Father Blue is the inaugural blend to hail from the Garcia's new Honduran cigar factory that was, I guess, started 3 years ago. Goes on to say this: 3 years ago, the Garcias developed a 1,000-acre farm dubbed La Finca La Opulencia. I just butchered these names. In the region of Talanga in Honduras. It's got a Connecticut broadleaf rosado wrapper, surrounds a smooth core of premium Honduran long filler tobaccos grown from Corojo and Criollo seeds on the Garcia estates. And then it goes on to talk about some of the flavor characteristics, which we will ignore because we want to figure that out on our own.
I'd like to comment on that because I know we say, oh, well, people can't really taste those flavors and stuff. But when I'm smoking and I do read a review that says, oh, well, I find this, this, and this, I look for that. I try to find out if I can actually taste those.
Well, I want to ignore it, not because they're irrelevant, but I don't want to be influenced. I don't want to read that it tastes like tangerines and suddenly I taste tangerines because it's in my mind because I read it. So
I get that.
We're going to skip over all that. Just some more information. And the interesting thing about this cigar is it's become a little difficult to get your hands on. They seem to go out of stock really fast, so they are moving. They come in a handful of sizes at a petite Robusto or a short Robusto at 4.5 by 50. A Robusto, which is a 5.3 by 52, although I think the wrapper said 5.25. The Toro is a 6 by 54, and the Gordo is a 6 by 60. Prices on those range from the petite Robusto at $162.99 up to the Gordo at $234.99. I think in general, these are in it's depending on the size that you buy. These are in the $11 range. So I figure about $11 to $12. I just happened to look on the LA Cigar Collective website to get pricing on these, and the Robusto is $11.60. So it's not an astronomically expensive cigar, but it is double digits, and we'll find out whether or not it's worth the money. All right, so that part is out of the way. Now the inspection part. So first and foremost, I love the colors on the band.
My father
look so damn good.
Always has nice bands.
But this one in particular, I just like this blue, this pale blue.
Yeah.
I just think it looks beautiful, and it's got that fabric sort of footband, which is just nice dressing.
It pops.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Construction-wise, it looks good. Color's consistent. Don't see any obvious flaws or defects. No rips, wrinkles, bumps, lumps. Like it just looks like a good, solid, well-constructed cigar.
Yeah, on a cold draw, it's like sucking through a straw. I mean, I have really good airflow through here.
And I'm V-cutting mine.
I don't get many flavors out of the cold draw. I think this will be a fairly mild to medium cigar. I don't know, but
I taste something. I don't know what that is. It's like I don't know how I would describe it, but it's tingly.
Oh, that's the one I put cyanide on.
No, seriously, it like the cold draw rolls across the front of my tongue, and it feels tingly. Like there's something there. I just don't know what it is. It's got something. I can't put my finger on it.
Maybe a little bit of pepper. These last a lot longer smoking them this way.
Yeah, they do. The draw on mine's a little stiff.
Is it?
Like I don't think it's going to be an issue, but it's not like super free flowing. And I did get a good V cut. It's, deep.
Yeah, mine too.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and light it up.
Fire away.
It's a little peppery on the retrohale. Like it,
Black pepper.
yeah. It's bugging me. Like it's almost like how like that sort of burning sensation you get from peppermint.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that on the cold draw, and I get that on the retrohale a little bit too. I don't want to say the cigar tastes like a candy cane,
Right.
but I get that same sort of sensation.
Mine's smoking real nice. I mean, that airflow just beautiful.
I'm getting a good smoke volume. It draws nice and easy. It's nice, and the smoke is, I don't want to say that it's overly thick at this point, but it's
like a creamy smoke.
fairly heavy. It's creamy, getting maybe a little bit of a leathery sort of taste. But the way it's interacting with the flavor portions of my tongue, I'm getting more activation on the front. I don't know what sensory area that is without looking into it, but it feels very kind of weird to say, but it feels like it's very straight line. Like I'm not getting any activation like out on the outside
in the cheeks. Retrohale's pretty good on that.
So just for my own information, I looked up a flavor map. So the very front is sweet. Then front outside areas are salty. Then outside going about midway is sour. Bitter is all the way in the back. And umami is the middle. So if I had to say, based on this map, it's hitting me in the sweet and salty areas. Okay. And not really nowhere else. It's very front of the
I'm not really sure what Miami is.
Umami, I believe, is like a meat sort of.
Oh, gotcha.
So umami is the fifth basic taste characterized by a pleasant, savory, or meaty flavor, described as brothy and rich.
It's a really good cigar.
So do you retrohale?
Every once in a while.
So I do it probably more frequently than I should. And when I do it, some cigars they strike me as aggressive. Like you really feel the smoke going through your sinus. And if you're someone that doesn't do it very often, this might be the type of smoke that make your eyes water, kind of face scrunch up. I don't get that at all with this. It is very, very light, airy, goes through the sinus, very, very easy. It's kind of like light and floral. But so far, we're really early on. But I wouldn't put the word aggressive anywhere, like on the map for the cigar. It is
right.
It is very sort of easygoing so far.
It's low key in a big way. I do see what you mean about the floral. Not that it's anywhere near like a Cuba or anything like that. But there are hints of.
It's just got like a light and airy retrohale. I guess floral is kind of the best way I know to describe it.
And the smoke almost gives me a sense of campfire.
Yeah, it's because they were burning. One of my neighbors had a campfire earlier, and I had the fan in the window open, and it was kind of pulling that aroma in through the building.
Throwing me.
Not to invalidate your taste buds, but there was definitely a campfire aroma outside.
'Tis the season.
This is pretty interesting because I've only had one other one before this. It was a Toro, and this is not what I remember. I remember that Toro being a little bolder. Like I feel like it had the flavors were a little bigger and richer.
How long ago?
This was a couple months ago. It was actually the first order I placed with Kyle.
Oh, okay.
It came in, I don't know, episode, what was it, 13 or 14 or
13, I think just came out.
So I think it's the one right after that. So it was at least a month ago.
I'm trying not to, I feel like this could be a fast burner.
Huh.
Cannonball it.
Cannonball
it.
Yeah. I was trying to get some back to just taste those aromas. It went in the lungs. Oh, it's a little aggressive when you inhale it by accident. That's something I've heard from a number of people, is that it tends to burn a little bit fast. So I feel like I'm deliberately trying to smoke it a little bit slower than I normally would. And believe it or not, we're coming up on 18 minutes that we've been smoking this cigar.
Wow.
So it's just, I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
Well, 18 minutes since I turned the recording on. Probably 5 minutes of jibber jabber in the beginning. So figure we're about 12 to 15 minutes in. But so far, I'm really happy with it. It's a good solid cigar so far. And as long as you don't inhale it, buttery smooth. Just smooth. It's burning really nicely too. The ash is super light. It's a little wavy. But that burn line is nice and thin. It's not... Sometimes when you look at the end of a cigar that's burning, it looks almost like... I don't want to say swollen, but almost like blistery. It really sort of expands and pops out along the burn line. This is nice and thin. I don't know what that actually means in terms of combustion, but it seems to be burning and performing really well.
And the ash is... not that I ever really notice ash, but this is a white ash.
Yeah, it is.
Not like a gray or salt and pepper. Let's see how many times we can say pepper this episode.
Yeah, I mean, not to harp on it, but I just keep coming back to like the portion of my tongue that's getting activated more often than anything else is like right in the front. Yeah, I mean, I think the one distinguishable flavor that I'm getting out of it is just a little bit of a leathery note, but very smooth, the smoke's got a creamy texture.
Absolutely.
I'd say in terms of flavor, I'd say this is on the mild side of medium. As far as the body goes, like the heaviness of the smoke, I'd say this is medium bodied.
That's where I'm putting it. The smoke in my mouth kind of reminds me of the gris-gris. That how it sits in there and coats the inside of the mouth before you exhale.
I can see that. The gris-gris, I think, is
more so.
Very more so. But I know what you're talking about. It does have that lingering sort of hanging around effect.
Looks like pretty good ash. I mean, I don't sense that it wants to drop off. Now, you haven't ashed yet either, right?
I have not. Normally, I would by now.
Mm-hmm.
But after listening to Eric give me a hard time about, it's a cigar review, you got to let it go. I don't know. I feel like I can't. But, I mean, I can whip this thing.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Oh, there it goes.
But it's pretty strong. I mean, I was wagging it around pretty hard there. I'm wondering if the reason I'm getting so much activation in the front of the tongue is because of the V-cut. It's kind of funneling things in one spot. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
No.
And I don't want to cut it off because it's a deep V. And if I try to cut to the bottom of that V, the whole cap's coming off.
No. I rarely have a problem with the cap coming off with a V cut. I usually have more problems with a straight cut having the cap come off.
I absolutely get that. Generally, I'm a straight cut kind of guy. I prefer scissors, but they live in my travel humidor, and I really haven't had the need to use my travel humidor much. So I've been using just regular straight cutters that I've got around. And as soon as they get just the slightest bit dull, I find that either as these blades are kind of pulling away from one another, I feel like they rip the cap just enough that it splits one side and then it starts to peel away. And
Yeah.
But I have not had that problem, not even once, since I started using a V-cutter. Now, I have found that there are certain cigars that I won't V-cut just because I feel like I don't get a good draw from them. Like the New Worlds, I won't V-cut them because I feel like they're a little stiff to begin with, and the V cut just doesn't help that. That's one of those cigars where while I'm smoking it, I have to sort of pinch it with my teeth and rotate it, and sort of try to loosen up the head.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I can't do that with a V cut. Mine's burning really evenly. Like,
yeah, I've been watching. Mine's going a little sideways, like I said, but I'm not going to touch it up yet. Let's see if I can control that.
It is a beautiful cigar. I would say that it is. The packaging, the presentation, is one of the better looking cigars I've seen in the last year. It just looks really, really well put together. Beautiful, beautiful cigar.
Mine looks like it has a vein going down the side of it, but I can't feel any. Just a slight hint of protrusion.
As I get into that second, third, I'm getting the smoke actually feels like it's getting thicker and creamier. The leather notes are becoming more pronounced, and I'm getting a bit more pepper. And the pepper is a little more apparent through the sinus during the retrohale.
I wonder what would pair well with this.
I don't know. The flavors just strike me as being pretty delicate. I don't know that I wouldn't try a high proof bourbon. It would have to be something like silky smooth.
I don't know why, but well, earlier I had a Blue Moon with a slice of orange, and I'm thinking I wish I had that now.
I wouldn't mind a cup of coffee with this.
Mm. Coffee's always good with a cigar.
Or a cup of hot tea. Maybe like an Earl Grey.
Or an Irish coffee.
Actually, the more I think about it, that I would really dig an Earl Grey tea right now with this.
Okay, I'll wait.
I don't have any. You'd have to wait for me to get back from the store.
Now I want it.
Man, that's wild. Like, this is so much lighter and airier than I remember
the Toro being.
The Toro. So, like, I don't know whether I smoked that cigar and I was just really impressed with it, and I kind of hyped it up, and I was really looking forward to smoking this one, and maybe in my mind I hyped it up a little bit more than I should have. But
construction has a lot to do with.
I'm wondering if that extra ring gauge sort of brings something out of the cigar that I'm not getting with the Robusto format. It's a very good cigar. It's just not that big. It doesn't have those big flavors that I remember the Toro having, which is kind of just unusual. But a lot can happen when you start manipulating the Vitola. As we've noticed with other things.
Yeah,
one size can be very different from another.
I definitely would not want to smoke, something stronger before this.
I would actually love to try the Gordo in this. That's the 6x60.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of intriguing. I'm not really a 6x60 guy.
You're big robbing it.
But I think that I don't know if my memory is right, and it could very well be wrong, and the Toro was kind of a bolder cigar because of the larger, diameter. Will the Gordo be even more so? Because I really enjoyed that Toro. I'm kind of intrigued. I want to try the bigger size and see how it stacks up. There's a smaller size available, but I don't know. With this blend, I'm sort of leaning towards wanting to go bigger.
How about super glue that they used on the band?
See, now I'm starting to get more like flavor coating the palate, and it's starting to have more of it's like a savory, salty, savory sort of taste, which I'm liking a lot.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that saltiness that you're talking about. Yeah, that hint of floral is still there in the background.
I don't notice it as much, but I'm getting it a bit, especially in the retrohale. It's sort of like a distant flavor or distant aroma.
What was that fifth taste sense?
Umami.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to remember that word. I'm getting that, though. I'm getting like meatiness.
Yeah. I'm starting to notice that more and more, especially after we got past that secondary band and we're getting into like the middle of the cigar, it's just starting to, it feels like it's picking up overall, and it's becoming more of what I remember from the Toro.
the larger
maybe with the Toro, you just got there faster, but the flavor seemed to be building. They almost come across as bigger and bolder. And at the start, it was just sort of delicate. There wasn't a whole lot jumping out at me. Whereas now, I mean, like, this is a more exciting cigar now.
But I like that subtleness, that subtle opening, and then it's like an appetizer before dinner.
Yeah, I guess sometimes I'm just impatient and I want to get to it. I don't want to spend half the cigar. It's like, it's too much foreplay. We just need to get to it. You know what I mean?
Gotta enjoy. It's like I watch some of our friends just burn through cigars, and it's like, whoa, slow down.
Yeah, I know that when we're hanging out during the podcast, I find that I really pull on them. Like I want to get lots of smoke because it's almost like that's the only way you can really enjoy it, because there's so much conversation going on. You really need the cigar to step up. And I feel like I smoke it a bit faster than I normally would, just so that like it jumps out at me. Whereas when we're doing these reviews, I find that everything slows way down. And I really don't pull on the cigar very hard. I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm trying to get the nuance out of it that I will never pick up when we're just having a grand old time. Like, we're sitting here rowdy laughing. Well, I'll never notice this stuff.
That's the same thing as trying to eat while rock music is on in the background. You tend to eat as fast as the music's going.
I can see that. You know, when we get carrying on and laughing and having a good time, the cigars go really quick.
Now, I could see Todd and I sitting back, listening to a classical piece, having these.
That'll take us into the final third. I think we're getting there. I'm going to start burning the band soon.
Yeah. I mean, we do seem to be neck and neck on the cigar.
Yeah, I mean, the smoke time's pretty good. We've been at this for 45 minutes now. It's getting to the point where I'm about to pop the other band off.
I was saying I don't get any of the pepper and the salt anymore.
No, I think that the pepperiness has almost been replaced by that meaty, sort of savory flavor. Still getting it, just a little bit of saltiness, but predominantly, I think it's got like a leather core, and it's got just that sort of meaty, savory sort of undertones or aftertaste. Man, I'll tell you what, this band is on there, man.
Right?
When you said...
I actually slid mine off.
When you talked about them super gluing the band on, like, I thought you were joking. Wow, this is on there. Like, I can't even get my finger under the tab to start ripping it.
I know. Look, the...
and it's not budging either.
The glue is actually sticking out, and you can see it hanging past the band.
Annihilate the band to get it off, and it is definitely glued to the... There it goes.
You know, rip your...
No, it didn't rip the wrapper leaf, but it was definitely stuck. I had to annihilate it to get it off. Yeah, there's like a big... It was like thumbprint of glue on the back, which was stuck to the...
I got that too.
Man, it's on there. It's not falling off. Starting getting a little bit of cedar.
I could see that. I don't know if I would have called it, but I think I can see that.
Has that same little bit of a taste and aroma that you would get from a cigar that was wrapped in cedar. It's not super heavy, but it's there. So this cigar is pretty interesting in and of itself, because prior to this, My Father cigars were coming out of Nicaragua, and there's still a number of My Fathers that are coming out of Nicaragua. And this is the first one that's coming out of the Honduran factory. And you know, when I think Nicaraguan cigars versus Honduran cigars, I think there's a pretty big divide. Like the characteristic flavors are pretty distinct. And I think that this is really narrowing the gap. Almost like My Father has a process during, you know, whether it's fermenting, how they grow the cigars and all that other stuff. I feel like because they have a process, it allows them to narrow that gap so that they're producing cigars that are very similar from Nicaragua and Honduras. And I say that because I feel like this has a very it's almost like there's a distinguishable My Father imprint on this cigar, where it tastes like you would expect a My Father cigar to taste like. There isn't this wide divide of, well, the My Fathers from Nicaragua taste this very certain way, and this new Honduran My Father tastes completely different. It feels like the same chefs are making the meal.
Right.
You know what I mean? The ingredients a little bit different, but you get the same style and nuance, and it just again sort of narrows that gap. Yeah, I think this final third really comes alive. I'm getting like a full activation of flavor sensors on the tongue. It's not like isolated to one area like it was earlier on. The flavors just feel bigger and bolder. The smoke is creamier. The smoke feels heavier. You know, in the beginning, I said I thought that in terms of flavor, this was on the milder side of medium. I still think it's medium flavored. It's building. You know, it may wind up being closer to medium full, but at this point, I'd say it's medium flavored. It's medium bodied, and it's not what I would consider to be an aggressive cigar at all. I think this is very approachable, regardless of where you stand in terms of preferred body.
Yeah, I get that because, like I said, on the cold draw, I would go medium to, or mild to medium. I'm pretty sure I said that. And as you're going through the cigar, it is building. I'm getting that. So you have a little bit of power at the end. That's good.
Yeah, it's had a really nice build up. If I were to say anything about the cigar that I would like to be a little bit different, I think I would like to get to the fuller flavors faster and not have such a slow buildup. I don't hate it. You know, I don't hate that slow buildup, but I wouldn't mind it picking up the pace a little bit. Get here a little bit quicker.
So Toro for you.
Yeah, I think I like the bigger format, and I'm really intrigued. I want to try the Gordo, see how that stacks up.
I don't mind the complexities here. The slow start, mild start to the build up. I kind of appreciate that.
I think the setting would play a bigger role. Like I don't mind the slow build up if I'm sitting out here and I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the guys, I wouldn't appreciate it as much.
I understand that.
There weren't a lot of varying flavors. I feel like the core flavors were the same flavors that ran throughout. I think that the biggest, the one flavor that stands out most to me is leather, and I've tasted it all the way through. It's the more subtle flavors that have changed a little bit. In the very beginning, it was kind of floral, it was light and airy, and then there was some moments where it was a little on the peppery side, and then I was getting some savory flavors. So I think that there has been very pleasant evolution.
So that goes back to what I was saying. When are you smoking the cigar? If you were doing something, let's just say you were out here working and doing something, not really concentrating on the cigar, would you pick those flavors up?
The leather, I think so. All of those more subtle flavors, no. I think that you need to be... I feel like in order for them to be really noticed or appreciated, it takes some effort. Like they're not big and bold enough to grab your attention. You've got to go looking for them. So just for fun, we're at an hour and 8 minutes, and I've got probably another 10 minutes of cigar left.
Yeah, I'm a little.
So I feel like
a little less, but
like one of the complaints that I saw,
and that's Robusto time.
Yeah. Well, Robustos, I feel like I expect them to last about 45 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour.
You're a stronger smoker.
So this is kind of leaning on the longer side for me. And that was sort of the one thing I heard pop up on a couple of occasions is this tends to be a faster burning cigar. So I'm not sharing in that experience. I feel like it's burning like it's supposed to burn. If anything, it's actually burning a little bit slower than I would expect.
Yes, but you're talking more. So that could be an effect.
Yeah. So I think now's a good time to shut her down. It was a good,
I think so.
thorough take on the My Father Blue. I want to thank you for providing the cigar for starters. It was fun doing this, and I'm looking forward to doing some more of these.
Absolutely.
If the people out there enjoyed the format, drop a comment on the YouTube video, drop a comment on StogieReview.com, also Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Let us know what you think of the My Father Blue.